Good morning and welcome to Coffee Blab with Mary and Jules from Destigmatize Me. We're kind of sleepy this morning. It's
Just
Monday.
A little bit.
It's Monday. So today we want to talk to you about Calculate the Crash. And we want to talk to you about communication with your child and how to do that and how to stop the arguments. Because let's face it, when you have tweens and when you have teens, you have arguments. But it takes two to have an argument. So,
I don't know. I've argued with myself many times.
well, then you have me, myself, and I.
That's 3.
I know, that makes even for a bigger argument, doesn't it?
Yes.
All right, so we want to talk to you today about conflict, context, and the solution of communication. All right, so that's what we're going to focus on this morning. We're going to get going probably a little bit more fluently in the next few minutes. I know we have to swipe to see if anybody's there. All that stuff gets me all confused. That's why she's on board. So you're going to see our look change over the next few days. Jules has picked up my social media and my branding. I'm really bad at it. So you're going to see probably a lot of better pictures and some better consistency. So make sure you tune in. We have a LinkedIn profile under Mary Harrington. We've got Twitter, which is at Destigmatize. We have obviously the Facebook page. We have Instagram, which is destigmatize.me. And a shout out, our book goes live on Amazon this Friday. So From Stress to Best, you can get it for $4.99 on Amazon. You can get the Kindle version, but if you want just the PDF version before then, it's at the website, which is destigmatize.me/shop for $2.99. That's just the PDF version. So if you don't want it on your Kindle, you want to be able to just print it out or whatever, $2.99, it's like a no-brainer. All right, so if we are ready to calculate the crash and get into it, let's start. Grab your coffee. Don't grab your coffee.
Drink all of mine.
I'll grab my cold coffee.
You can grab my empty cup.
No, it's okay. So I want to start off with what starts arguments. Okay, so I call this a really original word, the wheel. Isn't that great? They say, why reinvent the wheel? Well, I'm not going to reinvent it. I'm going to tell you what is on that wheel that starts every single argument, whether it's with yourself, whether it is with your child, whether it is with your loved one, whether it is your friends, your family members, your in-laws, strangers, because let's face it, we get into arguments with strangers who mean nothing to us because we just want to be right. But the number one thing that starts every single argument, both sides have a fear. All right? Valid or not, they have a fear. They might not even know that that's what's causing it, but it is caused by fear. That fear then goes all the way into control, because now you want to control what's making you fearful, right?
Yep.
All right. So then from control, you go to anger. So it goes fear, control. Now you're angry. And that is the next step, which goes really fast into a fight. And that fight goes back to fear, which goes into control, which goes into anger, which goes into the fight, which goes into fear, which goes into control.
We get it.
Okay. Apparently. But you see, that's the wheel. I didn't reinvent it. I just told you how the arguments work. Every single argument on the face of this planet starts with fear. So today, that argument, that last part before you hit the top of the circle again, is the conflict. That's the first C. So you're going to want to write these down. Conflict. All right? So we're going to go over conflict. Oh, we have someone. Good morning. We're going to go over conflict, context, and communication. Will you swipe it for me so we can see who's here? You're a good swiper. It didn't show us who it is. Go
Because
get it.
they left.
No, they couldn't have. Okay. So let's start with conflict. And we're going to talk about something that happened yesterday with Jules and I. You want to start?
No.
Teenagers. All right, so we had this conflict. She's really been suffering with depression. Okay. And I was getting frustrated. We've been down this road probably the majority of her life. I would say probably since she was 2 or 3. Okay. We have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on therapy, on hospitalizations, on medications, on providing tools. And she owns them all. All. She has them all inside of her. She knows exactly what to do. You have your tool belt. You have your little box that you got at Silver Hill that you made, where your tools go in. Anyway, so I was getting ticked off because basically she wants to get paid to gain knowledge and basically having a temper tantrum about it. Like, most people pay to get knowledge. Like, they go to college. They pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for knowledge. And I was like, hey, can you help me out with the social media stuff? I'm really bad at it. Well, you're not going to pay me. I just want the money. And I was like, whoa. Okay,
I do
then.
want money.
Well, so do I. And I want to be, in order for me to get money, guess what I need?
Help.
Yeah, bingo. And so we ended up having this conflict. My fear is that she's going to go further into her depression and not make any kind of actualization or any kind of decision. She's going to stay in indecision, and then she's going to flounder there. And she's going to then become apathetic. And then she's going to feel worse about herself. And it's just, it keeps going, the cycle of craziness. Okay? The wheel of dysfunction. So that was where my fear came from. Where did your fear come from?
My fear came from not feeling like I wasn't good enough to get paid. And the fear of, gosh, I don't know.
Fear of never being good enough to
Yeah.
get paid? Yeah. Well, newsflash, no one
And the
pays you to
fear-
breathe.
And the fear that you would, like, disown me if I didn't do anything right. Which I know is totally not true and not to your nature, but it was...
But it's your fear.
Yeah.
It is an illogical fear that has no basis in reality.
Mhm.
But it's your fear. You own it. And it's honest and true to you. So that fear led to anger, which I was like, crap. You know, here I am.
Control.
Or control, yes. I wanted to try to control your depression.
Yep.
To help you get out of it, because I'm like, you have all of these tools. Why are you not using them? Can't you see they're right there? Like, you have everything in front of you to build this house, and you're just like, I just want someone to hand me a hammer. I just want someone to do it for me and then pay me. Yeah, no, not going to happen. Where did your control come in?
What do you mean?
Well, we had anger, right? We had fear. Now we went to control. What did you want to control?
I wanted to control my time in my life and not have someone tell me what to do. But at the same time, I need someone to tell me what to do, otherwise I don't do anything.
And at the same time, you want to control your own time and your own life, but then you want to work for someone else to get money, but you don't want them to tell you what to do.
Yeah. They're incongruent.
Very, very incongruent. All right. So that control then led to the anger, which was like, chick, I have given you every tool in the book. Why are you not freaking picking it up? Like, this is ridiculous. I'm tired of this. We've been through this so many times. We are on the same freaking roller coaster again. And we're on it because of you, because the choices that you're making. Where did yours come from?
My anger?
Yeah.
You.
Awesome. Cool. But you need to own your own anger. I don't make you feel angry unless you want to feel angry.
I know.
Okay, so where did your anger come from?
Not getting my way.
Don't we all get angry at that? Like, it really, if we're honest, we really do. We all want our own way.
We're
And-
human.
Yeah. So that led to a calculated crash fight. Now, we didn't go into the car thinking we were going to fight.
It wasn't really a fight, though.
No, you said you didn't want me to talk to you like a grown-up.
Yeah, but that's not a fight. That was more like talking at each other.
That's true. We didn't fight with each other. We definitely... So what happened was, we're going to get to context next. And this is where the conflict happened. So I was talking to her like an adult. I was very calm. I was very much just laying it out. Well, that pissed her off. It pissed her off if I was like laughing about it. Like, okay, fine, do whatever you want to do. Well, then that made her feel bad. So I was screwed no matter what I did. No matter how I handled it with adult maturity. And she was honest. She's like, I can't receive it like this. So I said, fine. You want me to be 19 years old?
Yes.
And I was. So I went back to my 19-year-old self, who was completely fluent in fucking-ese. I don't know if your 19-year-old self was, but mine was. It was like my favorite word. It could be put into any sentence, just like the word like when you're younger. It's like the upgrade from like. So I spoke at her with the context fully understanding that the conflict context was this was the language she needed to hear to receive it. Now, that may not be your child's need, your spouse's need, but you need to meet them where they are.
Yeah.
And that's really the key. She couldn't come to where I was and understand that, hey, we've given you all of these tools.
Because I've never been in that place before.
Right.
So.
I can't ask her to come where she hasn't been. But guess what? I've been where she is. So I was able to go back and be 19 and talk to her like a 19-year-old in her language, in her context, and really lay it out for her with all the things that were bothering me as an adult, and explain to her how very self-centered she was being and how that was actually hurting her and how that was frustrating me, and watching her inadvertently harm herself is really hard. Yeah, again, is really hard for me. So, how did you receive my talking to you like a 19-year-old would?
I actually received it really well.
By the end, we were laughing hysterically.
Yeah, because you were like spitting on my face.
I was very impassioned.
Yeah, she was.
I really got into it. But I could stop at any time and completely be back in mom mode because it was the context and the conflict through communication. That's the third C. So we've got conflict, context, communication. And communication's the key. I wasn't really angry. I was just talking to her in her language.
Yeah.
But I was able to get out what I needed to get out in her language in a way that she could receive it. So therefore, we broke that cycle of fear to control to anger to fights because I talked to her where she was. And really, that's the key, regardless of what your argument is. So if you're watching this and you want to do self-directed learning, right, and your in-laws are giving you a hard time, understand it starts with fear. They fear that their grandchild isn't going to have the same advantages of other children. Now,
or socialization.
Or socialization, yes, or math. But they're pulling off of their experience in the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, whatever generation they were. They don't have a basis of understanding what it has become.
Yeah.
All right? So I know for myself, it's really hard for my in-laws. And so when we began, I used to make a weekly PowerPoint for them of all the things that the two of you did.
Seriously?
Seriously, because it made them feel secure. And they were able then to go to their luncheons and groups and show pictures of their grandchildren engaged in active learning. It gave them bragging rights. Now, do they still get it? No. No, they don't. And every year they tell me, Sarah should go to school and they'll pay for the private education. And every year we say thank you, but no thank you. She's doing great. She just skipped 5th grade. She's doing 6th grade work. It works for her. But understand, every argument with every person starts with fear. Take a step back. Take yourself out of it and figure out what your fear is that you're reacting to, which means you are acting again in the same way, and what they are fearful of. Because you don't know what they're reacting to. You're not inside their brain. But find out what their fear is. Because otherwise you're just going to run this horrible circle of fear to control to what?
Anger.
To anger to fights. Whether it's on Facebook or it's on Instagram or you're sending ugly Snapchats to each other. It's the same thing. And that's how you contemplate the crash. Because you know it's going to come. Calculate. Well, contemplate. Well, I can contemplate it too. You have to think about it when you go into it. But it needs to be calculated. It absolutely has to be calculated. You are the adult with your child. Their goal is not to run all over you. Their goal is to feel loved. Their goal is to feel safe. Their goal is to know that they are a priority in your life. Yes?
Yep.
So
they're accepted too.
Yeah, and that no matter what they do, they are fully and unconditionally accepted. So you are the one who's in charge of stopping that conflict. You are the one who is responsible for putting it into the right context. And you, as the adult, are responsible for the communication. Don't look so bored. But if you don't know how to communicate, then as the adult, that is also your responsibility to learn how to communicate. Yeah. Read a book. Sign up for, we've got a 4-week, a 6-week, and an 8-week course. Sign up for one. If you want to have a relationship like this, where you can sit down in each other's bedrooms and talk and swear at each other, not to each other, or maybe to each other, not at each other, maybe that's better, and be able to really get in that context, be able to communicate, know where they are, sign up. I mean, we've got an awesome relationship. It wasn't great when it started.
No.
When you were 12, it was dreadful, 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 dreadful. Because I was trying to do it the authoritative way and what everybody else told me. It didn't work. You want to know what works? Sign up. It's super easy. It's cheaper than a therapy session once a week.
True.
And you're going to get like actionable items, and you're going to get real results that if you do the work, you're going to have a better relationship. It's going to go all throughout your entire life. Not just with your children. It'll affect it with your spouse. It'll affect it at work. Because really the key is communication. That's it.
Yeah.
The basis of all misunderstandings is miscommunication. So today, we're going to probably be short today. What could you do to calculate the crash in relationships that you have? How can you look at it and say, hey, here's the conflict I see coming. What's the context that I'm going to use to communicate with? And how am I going to communicate? Because sometimes it works great to say, hey, when you do X, I feel Y. Hey, I need you to do Z. And sometimes that just pisses the person off. Sometimes that conflict, context, communication, X, Y, Z really sucks. So.
Meet them where they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't try to meet in the middle. They can't meet you in the middle. They're kids. They're not adults. They don't have the experience. They don't have the ability to pull on whatever it is that you're pulling on.
It's true.
Yeah, but the great news is this. They're kids. They don't have it yet, so they don't know if you've messed up, except if it feels bad. Chances are they will not remember what you said. They will remember how they felt.
I know that's like 98% of my memory.
Yeah, how you felt about it. Not what I said, not what I did. 98% of communication is not verbal.
It's emotional?
It's body language and tone. To be absolutely exact, 93%. I was off by 5%. 7% are your words. That's it. That is the only part of communication. 7%. So choose that 7% wisely, but really, really, really pay attention to the 93%. That is body language and tone. Because what did you tell me in the car? That tone is pissing me off. I feel like you're laughing at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't. I said the same exact words, just in a different tone. And you're like, oh, I was able to receive that.
And as the kid, make sure you communicate about what you need.
Yes. Do not expect your parent to have ESP and know.
And don't expect them to have it perfect, and don't expect them to say the right things, because they are also learning along with you.
Yeah. And you're a completely different person than they were. Again, the solution is communication. You have to communicate. You should make a song about communication. Then we could put it next to like a School of Rock video. House School of Rock? I don't know. They were awesome like that. You used to watch when you were younger.
I know.
Yes, sorry. I'm tired. So, anyway, that is today's show. It's all about how to stop the fights with your kids. It's all about conflict, context, and communication. If you have any questions, leave them below. I am happy to answer them, or Jules is happy to answer them. If you want to learn how to have a better relationship, go to destigmatize.me, sign up for the 4, 6, or 8-week course. Super easy, can do it from anywhere in the world, and you will have some actionable items ready to go, and it'll change your life. Order the From Stress to Best book out on Amazon, Kindle version, $4.99 on Friday, or $2.99 now at PDF at the website. That is it for today. We will see you Wednesday. Bye-bye.